period when you go back to the house and close up the house. And it's a process of retrieval and kind of reckoning. And it's called a house. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yep. Another and another death. Tethered and untethered. In boxing what to save comes an awareness of what is lost. Lost and retrieved, retrieved and more deeply lost. One death atop another, waiting your bones, waiting for your bones, Mr. Bones, Mr. Bones, I can feel the scales falling from my eyes. It is 9 o'clock on a Monday, sometime in September or sometime in October. Some divisions are clearer than others. I can hear the children in the playground beyond the sheds overhung with holly and forsythia, sweating their sweet screams. The bell that calls them to class called me 40 years ago and more, bells that usher you to earth and sound you out of it. I will never die in this house, never see what mother saw in her last weeks, never breathe the enslaved breath father made, never record the light or redeem the garden, never witness again where Pompey was buried, or the begonias overwintered, or the green ceramic centerpiece discarded. We have boxed what we want to preserve, a kind of maintenance or cherishing of what we shared. Oddly, I have become my father's clearest mirror, a hairless, geeky chick. Babies mistake me for a version of themselves, and others as a sick man or a freak. And I'm just like them, father, mother, acquisitive around the detritus of my life, all of it a nonsense. All of the broken, sloughed things we enshrine, gatherings like Keats's books about his coffin bed, protectorates of glistening things. The holy pictures have been taken down, the crosses, the scapulars, the Bibles, the in memoriam cards, the Christ I've brought them from Cyprus, the Madonna from some small shop in Bethlehem. There's enough holy water from Lourdes and elsewhere to drown me. That was always her most intimate touch. The wet cross she thumbed on my forehead, the signal sign, the signal gift, the small farewell before I struck west for home. There are intimate things of theirs I'll take. His 60s shift coat, with Aer Lingus embroidered in vivid green on the breast pocket, her bell, her cardigan, a cinnamon or two, pictures of them in joy. It is much the same life, over and over, the same complex progress, the same illusions, the same gift of time, the same memories retained abstractly in the good child still full of time, full to bursting with the dead, full to bursting. The next one is from a sequence of poems called Poems for Christina, and so I'll just read it in conjunction with the house because it's the tone is similar, even though the subject is different. It's called I Imagine. I imagine a house on an open plain, a dark house on a plain of grass. I imagine she is there, holding a womb burst of bees, her flower dress stained with nectar. There is a light inside. That was always what she wanted. The light inside is something she could hold. The light outside fading to a sea blank. She sits quietly, rocking into her life, waiting for the sea to come. She can hear it in the distance, growing over grass, surmounting flowers, overwhelming stones, submerging fuchsias, lifting her little house, her beautiful hive, lifting her little house, her beautiful hive surrendering. She can no longer flee, her memory is of the forest. She would go there now, but she can only go to the place where she is taken. The sea, the womb, the station, the shore, chambers and encasements, life disgorged and engrossed, the shore faintly imagined and forgotten, the sea falling into her, the sea carrying her, the sea carrying her in a way the land never did, nor I. Last poem. The last poem I'll read before I read the some of the short pieces from In Daily Accord is a poem that derives from a dream, and again, there's something about the tone in this. I suppose that links back to a sense of elegy, and it's called I Meet Elise in Dreams. I meet Elise in dreams. Last night I pulled up outside her place. Back from collecting her kids, she closed the station wagon door and turned to face me. You again, she said. Inside we sat at a round table, her eyes solid, factual brown. She coughed as she does and took 2 coins from her mouth, cemented with a kind of phlegm. A wood, she said, trees. Then asked me, how do you breathe? How on earth do you breathe? What do you fear most? Breathe? On earth? I don't know. Sometimes I just don't know. And fears abound, though the central fear never changes. But wood, what was it about wood or trees that I should be alert to? I was not lost after all. Elise coughed again. This time she pulled a sheath of plastic through her nose, and from within it 2 locks of hair, one Madonna blonde, the other Bonham Carter brown. 2 girls, she said. 2 girls. And all I felt was loss. And deeper than the loss, a shameful guilt. And that was that. We walked out through the kitchen, past her own 2 kids, and onto the gravel courtyard once again. How much is that, I asked. 60 or 40, she said. But when I opened my purse and she saw the 50 and the 10, she took them both. Driving by the lake, it appeared to swirl as though stirred by some agency or power. Back home, my wife at the table with the patio door behind looked, how can I say this, known but unfamiliar. Was it a foretelling, with children as the one true legacy? Stirred water as a kind of dark inevitability? Or was it simply a synthesis of the past? Not what would be, but what was. And life, amazingly, merely a movement in water. Will I leave it here?
Yeah.
Because, yeah, so
Can you manage?
it's just Barry's going to go. Anyhow, this is the book, and I began this book on my birthday in May 2003. And over the years, I've done a lot of daily practice projects, whether they're drawing projects where I do a drawing